Welcome to Museum Moments, the show that's your guide to what's happening in Museum City, Portsmouth. I'm your host, Rob Lauer. If you head down High Street in Old Town, it's impossible to miss some of Portsmouth's biggest and most prestigious museums. I say some because there is one museum in particular of which many people are unaware, even though it's hidden right there in plain view, housed in a well-known historic Portsmouth landmark on the corner of High Street and Court Street. And no, I'm not talking about the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center that's housed in the historic 1847 courthouse. Are you puzzled? Have you no idea which museum I'm talking about? Then you need to stay tuned to this episode of Museum Moments. Welcome to Museum Moments. On today's show, we're going to visit a beautiful art museum that you may know nothing about, even though it's housed in a well-known Portsmouth landmark on the corner of High Street and Court Street, directly across the street from the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center. In the 1880s, the beautiful Ocean House Hotel stood on this corner. It was the place to stay if you were visiting Portsmouth during the 19th century. The name was later changed to the Hotel Monroe, and it was in business until the mid-20th century when it was damaged by fire. After extensive repairs and remodeling, the building became the new home to The Famous, one of Hampton Road's premier fine clothing stores for women, established here in Portsmouth in 1916. The Famous served area women for decades until it closed its doors in 1991. The building is now owned by Tidewater Community College. Now, even though TCC has campuses in cities across Hampton Roads, the college's art department is now centered here, drawing students from across the region. The building itself has undergone extensive renovations to provide top-of-the-line classrooms and studios for the study of all genres of art. In addition, the first floor has been transformed into a beautiful art museum, which is open free to the public 7 days a week throughout the entire year. The displays and exhibits featured in the museum's galleries change every few months, so visitors can return again and again and always find something new and exciting there. To learn more about the galleries, I recently spoke to TCC's Professor of Graphic Design, Rosemary Hill. Rosemary, thanks for joining us. You know, what makes the gallery, I guess, very different from other museums in Portsmouth is its attachment to TCC and to the art school here. And you are a faculty member. How long have you been working here as a faculty member?
This is my 9th year at the Visual Arts Center, and I'm very pleased to be here. We have a wonderful student population, and the gallery supports all of our student activities in the building here.
So what is the connection with the art faculty and the art students to the gallery itself?
Well, the faculty actually select the shows. Artists and designers may propose a show. We discuss it at our faculty meetings. We look at existing work from those proposals, and we decide who we want to show in the galleries downstairs here. This show happens to be in support of the graphic design program, and it's all about letterpress printing. We have a variety of activities that go on related to these shows that the students participate in. And it's up to the individual faculty members exactly what they will do with their students. Oftentimes there are group critiques that go on in the gallery where a faculty will bring a class down in entirety. Other times students are given an assignment to come down on their own and choose a piece that they will then evaluate, critique, sometimes even do a project that kind of spins off of that. And we have a relief printmaking activity that will be open to the entire student body on a walk-in basis coming up soon that is related to this show. We have the guest speakers. We always have whoever the artists that are exhibiting are. We ask them to speak to the students, usually at the opening reception, sometimes for a more formal lecture as well. So there are a variety of things that go on in conjunction with these shows that the students do take part in. Okay,
and it sounds like the faculty are more or less the curators.
Yes, absolutely. That would be a good word for it.
Okay. Are there other types of shows, other types of arts that are displayed here?
Oh, absolutely, yes. It's all on a rotating basis, and we try to equalize who gets to show. We represent all of the areas that we teach in at some point. Maybe not every year. We don't have a show for each of our discipline areas, but over a course of a few years we will. Like we just had a major glass show We have painters, we have new media artists who participate, some installations, so it supports both the studio arts side of our programming, which is fine arts, as well as this show is unique, that it's more directed to graphic design. However, we do have a printmaking course that's part of the studio arts program, so they're involved with this also.
Now, what about our viewers who may not even be familiar with this building being TCC, and particularly an art school? What types of, I guess, programs, degrees, whatever, does the art department offer students?
Well, we have two main degree programs, an Associate of Applied Science, which is the graphic design area, and Associate of Applied Arts. Those are the studio arts. So we're preparing students not only for transfer programs where they would transfer to take a 4-year degree and finish a fine art degree or a graphic design degree, but also we're preparing some students to go directly into the workplace, into the career field. And we have everything from ceramics, sculpture, 3D design, to photography, printmaking, painting, of course. Drawing and painting are very strong, glass blowing. So we have all of that under this one roof,
now,
in this one building.
On the roof, and actually on the roof, isn't there a glass blowing, what do you call it, glass blowing studio, a kiln?
Right.
I went up there several years ago. It's really impressive. I never dreamed that was up there.
Yes, that the hot arts, I believe they call them. Fire arts, yes. There are 3 complete floors in this building, and then the glass blowing is conducted up on essentially the roof. But this building used to be the famous department store.
Right.
Some of the longtime residents will remember the famous.
I remember it,
I've heard there were many wedding dresses bought in this building back in the past. That predates my time here, though.
The gallery here now, is this open every day of the week? Is it open in the evenings? Is it open to the public?
Oh, yes. We are open to the public 7 days a week. Until 8 o'clock at night. We're closed for certain holidays, but very few holidays. And yes, the public can come in at any time. They're welcome to come to our opening receptions and meet the artists who are exhibiting. And but we're mainly here to support the student.
And is admission free?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, how many different shows a year would you say that come in here?
I believe we currently have about 6 per year. And we do have a student show, which will be the next show in these galleries coming up next month. And we have a faculty show in the fall. It's good for the students to see what their instructors can produce.
Yes,
and our faculty are working artists and designers still working in the field.
But tell us a little bit about the upcoming student show. This will be going on in which months? April, May, thereabouts?
It opens at the end of March and will run through the beginning of May.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's a wonderful show. We always have it juried by an invited juror. And there are lectures associated with that. We have guest speakers who come in, visiting artists, visiting designers, visiting art historians who speak during that time period. We give a number of awards. We have for the students in the show in all of the different discipline areas. So there's a possibility for students to win awards no matter what field of interest they're involved in with their art. It's always a great activity. We hold the award ceremony down at the Commodore Theater.
Okay, and you have opening receptions and things for the various new shows?
Oh, yes, yes. And as I said, the artists usually give a gallery talk at the opening reception. So
and those receptions are open to the public as well?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you have a class coming up. You need to get back to it. But thanks for coming in and telling us about all of this.
All right. Well, thank you for having us.
Later that day, I also spoke to the gallery's director, Christina Rupsch. Christina, thanks for speaking to us today.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about the history of this building and how TCC came to acquire it and put the art school here?
Well, I think it started about 22 years ago. Ann Iott was the head of the art program out at the beach, and she, with the current president at that time, came up with this idea that it would be very smart for them to converge all the different small art departments at the different campuses into one location. And so they found this old department store that was empty, the Old Famous, and they gutted it and renovated the whole thing, and it opened 20 years ago.
I didn't realize it'd been here that long.
Yes.
And so basically, an art student through TCC, this is where they come for their classes, for art classes?
For all the art classes. The only exception would be if you're taking art appreciation. We do offer that at all the campuses. So.
How many students do you have here now, would you say?
At least 900 to 1,000. It varies each semester, but
really,
we have a large. Are you surprised?
God, that's
yes,
a large
it's
art
amazing,
department.
isn't it? We have classes running morning, afternoons, evenings, Saturdays, Fridays. So
wow.
Even Sunday afternoon.
Okay, so what is the relationship between the art department, the class and all, and the gallery here?
Well, the reason why we have galleries is we wanted to have an extension to the classroom. We wanted to have the students experience that part of the art culture, the exhibition part. And so we use it for class exercises, and coming down here as a group to do a critique is really typical. And to have visiting artists and art historians come and speak in this gallery for our students.
Did the students get a chance to display their artwork in here?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
The annual student show is coming up. It's April and May, and we have a big award ceremony. There's like 20, 25 awards that are given out to them. And we actually have the award ceremony over at the Commodore Theater.
Okay.
And then we come back here for a really big reception with all the friends and the families. Yeah.
You have receptions whenever there's a new show.
Absolutely.
Those are open to the public? Those are open to the public?
Always, yes.
Right, well, that's
pretty
great.
cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
And we have whoever's showing, they will present a lecture at 6:30, and then the reception starts at 7 o'clock. So
I have to say, I knew for a number of years that the art school was here. I did not realize, though, until about 3 years ago, that the bottom floor here is actually a museum, galleries.
Yes.
And that it's open to the public for free.
Absolutely. We're only closed 3 days out of the year. So from 8 in the morning till 8 at night, we're open to the public. Yeah.
That is great. 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
Okay. So with the classes, are there classes that are offered for non-full-time students, say somebody in their 40s, 50s, 30s, they're established, they have a day job, they just love art, and maybe they've come to the gallery here and looked around, it's triggered something, and now they just want to take a drawing class or a pottery class or something. Is there an outlet here for that?
This is the place to come. Probably a third of our students are the traditional college-age students, 17 to 25, something like that. And then we have a cluster of students that I think of as being in their 30s and 40s, and they're kind of reinventing themselves, or they're enhancing their skill set, and they're already employed. And then we have another cluster of students, and those are our non-traditional students that are generally in their 50s and 60s and 70s. If they're 60 years old, they're eligible for free tuition.
Oh, really?
Senior citizens can sign up and they can audit classes. So it's really a nice gift to the community.
That is.
Yeah.
Now, if someone was interested in finding out more about classes, do they go online? Do they give somebody a call?
That's a really good question. They can go on our website, and you can go down under academic divisions and go right to our Visual Arts Center website and get all the information they need. They can come in here and stop by, and we have a personal tour. At the end of the hallway, we have this touch screen that gives you a personal tour of the whole facility. They can stop in our offices and someone will give them a personal tour. And then we have all of the handouts for all of the courses, and they can find out everything they need to know about each individual class, how much it costs, what materials they have to buy.
Go ahead and give us a pitch. If somebody does not know that the school is here, that they don't know the gallery is here, but maybe they're coming to Old Town and they just want to do something.
Okay.
How would you plug the gallery here?
Oh, I'm going to plug the gallery and our program.
Okay.
I don't know if you all know about this, but we are considered one of the best programs in the whole state of Virginia. And we have the top schools from the East Coast coming to try to lure our students into transferring to their schools. And each class that we have here is stellar. So please come on over to the Visual Arts Center, enjoy the exhibits, and sign up for classes.
All right, sounds inviting. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you so much.
When we return to Museum Moments, we'll leave the TCC galleries and walk across the street to the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center to find out what exhibits and events they have planned this May and June. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
French fries. Finding best potatoes.
No!
Russet. Fingerling. Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to this, our May-June of 2015 episode of Museum Moments. As we learned in our last segment, the beautiful TCC art galleries are open, free of charge, 7 days a week, every week of the year. And with exhibits and shows constantly changing, you can visit the galleries again and again and always see something new. And while you're in the neighborhood, why not stroll across the street and visit the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center, located in Portsmouth's old historic 1847 courthouse. The center is open 6 days a week and also features a new exhibit every few months. Recently, we spoke to the center's curator, Gail Paul, to find out what exhibits and special events are being offered there this May and June. Gail, thanks for joining us again on Museum Moments.
Good to see you, Rob.
Good to see you. Now, spring is here, and that means that concerts in the courtyards have started up here at the Art and Cultural Center.
Yes, they started in March, and they'll continue through October. The first Friday of every month, we will have a concert in the courtyard, and sometimes it will be in conjunction with an art opening, an exhibit opening, but always that first Friday we'll have music.
So what do you find when you come here? Why is it a good draw?
Well, we work with Don Comer, who helped with Ports Events, who helps us create this wonderful music calendar. It pulls a lot of local artists and artists from throughout the region. And so far we've had really good weather. For some of our first Fridays, some hasn't been so good, so we do those inside.
Okay, but usually they're outside in the courtyard.
They're outside in the courtyard, and it's a great way to gather with friends, enjoy at Friday evening, where we offer these from 5 till 8. The exhibits are open and free, so people can come and see the exhibits as well.
Oh, wow, I'm not have to pay.
Right, and it's free and open to the public.
Is there seating? Or
We do
can you
offer
bring your own seats if you want to?
We do offer seating, but a lot of people choose to bring their own chairs. So, it's a little bit of both.
And there's usually refreshments? And
There's light refreshments, and it's a great time to gather with friends.
I bet it really is a fun event.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so take advantage of that. Now, in May and June, we have some exhibits that are opening here.
Yes, we have an exhibit that will be opening May 16th. That's Frank Lloyd Wright's Samara. He was known for creating these Usonian houses, which were designed for really middle-class families so that they could actually work with an architect and build a dream home. Now, the Usonian houses were usually like one story, but it was something that he had worked with several of the clients. And so the Samara House was the John Christian House, created in Indiana. And it was created over several years, later towards the end of Wright's life. So it's really about what it's like to work with an architect to build a home. And then also, at the time, they couldn't afford to build everything. So he actually planned for them to build things when they had the money.
Okay.
So they continued to make additions to it, and they continue to live in the house today.
So that exhibit will be here opening on what day?
The exhibit will open May 16th, but we'll have a reception, which will be the first weekend in June. I believe the date is June 6th.
Okay.
And we'll have music that night. We'll have another exhibit opening in conjunction with that one called The Architect Within, Philip Weber, and that features the work that Philip Weber did at Taliesin. He was a fellow there.
And that's Frank Lloyd Wright's school
of
out
Architecture,
in
right.
Arizona?
Well, he had two locations, Taliesin East and Taliesin West. And there was one in Flagstaff, Arizona, which I visited, and there was also one in Wisconsin. I've not visited that one, but incredible treat.
So we'll have some of his work?
Yes, we'll have Philip's work, and Philip will also be offering programming in conjunction with this. And since he was there and was a part of that school, he will, be able to offer a lot of guidance to visitors and talk about his experience at Taliesin.
Any other events related to those? Any that'll be going on in May and June?
Part of our first Saturday in June, Dr. Robert Vitovich, who teaches architecture at Old Dominion University, will be talking about the Wright homes in Virginia and how one of the things specifically that Wright focused on was how it would fit within the...
So there are actually Frank Lloyd Wright homes in Virginia. I didn't know that.
Yes, there are actually two in Virginia.
Okay.
And there's one right here in Virginia Beach.
Oh, really?
Yes, so we're hoping to have some model and drawings from that house as well.
That's great. Now, there is another event going on at City Park this time of year, which the kite?
Yes, we have the annual kite festival. That's the first weekend in May.
Okay.
So it's May 2nd and 3rd. May 2nd will be in Virginia Beach, and then May 3rd will be at City Park here in Portsmouth.
Okay.
And we do that every year. It's a fun event.
And probably a lot of people probably wouldn't associate that because it's in the park with
us.
But
right.
You do sponsor it.
We sponsor it, and that started when we did a kite exhibit several years ago, and we've now done 2 kite exhibits in conjunction with it, and we're on the 11th year of the Atlantic Coast Kite Festival.
Wow. So really there's something going on here all year round, every month of the year.
Yes.
So you want to throw a pitch to the public? I mean, what would you say to people who maybe don't know that this is even here?
I would say please come visit. Right now you get a sampling of an exhibit. This one will close May 3rd, but just to give you a taste of what exciting things that we have, this is called Coding Artists and Their Creative DNA, and it's a really beautiful, colorful exhibit.
It really is.
Shows you the talent that goes on, and this is about how artists come up with ideas. Where do their ideas stem from?
So people wanted more information. Do you have a website?
Yes, they may visit our website, www.portsmouthartcenter.com.
Okay, and what is the number if they want information on?
757-393-8543.
All right, thanks for joining us, Gail, telling us all about this.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Just one block away from the TCC Galleries and the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center is the Children's Museum of Virginia. This state-of-the-art children's museum offers 2 floors filled with permanent interactive displays guaranteed to delight kids of all ages. But throughout the year, the Children's Museum of Virginia also hosts a series of special temporary traveling exhibits, such as last summer's hugely popular Wonderful Wizard of Oz exhibit. Right now, until the end of May, another fun-filled exhibit, this one centered on another popular character from children's books, is on display. To learn more about it, I spoke to Kim Mikowski from the museum's Exhibit and Display Department. Welcome, Tim.
Hey, Rob. Good to see you again.
So we hear at the Children's Museum of Virginia, there is a new exhibit in the traveling exhibit area, and it's built around a particular character. Who is that character?
We are currently hosting The Adventures of Clifford the Big Red Dog, which you may or may not know is a PBS television series, and the exhibit is themed around that television show. So if anyone out there is familiar with Clifford, he's a big red dog and he's full of love. And along with the exhibit, there's also a series of books, which all the young children, I'm sure, including my own daughter, know all about Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Did she knows Clifford, your daughter?
She knows him pretty well.
But she calls him something else?
Clifford.
Okay, so if you're coming to the Clifford exhibit, now this is geared towards, I guess, smaller children?
Yes, it's geared towards, your toddlers on up through maybe second or third grade. But yes, it's like I said, it's based on a television show. So when you come to the exhibit, we have there's lots of role play opportunities. You can dress up. There's a restaurant where the kids can role play and serve each other food and get money. And there's little themes throughout the exhibit where, you learn about friendship and sharing and that type of thing.
It has been very popular?
It's been extremely popular. We opened on Valentine's weekend, and we're running through Memorial Day, May 25th.
Wow, that's sort of a long stretch.
It is a long stretch. It's typical for what we try to get. You want it there for a couple of months so people can come in and enjoy it and take it all in.
So this is open, this is for free once you buy an admission to the museum itself.
It is on loan from the Minnesota Children's Museum. It is a traveling exhibit. It's about 1,500 square feet. And yeah, about once or twice a year we get these larger exhibits in that changes our museum up a little bit, something new for people to come in and look at.
So now, is there something coming up after Clifford leaves?
Yes, actually, Clifford, like I said, it's through Memorial Day, and then we shut down for a week while we ship that out, and we have a new exhibit coming in June called Young Architects. And this is also geared towards the younger set. It's a lot of blocks and building, and it's focusing children on what is architecture and, where do you see it in your everyday life and how you can enjoy it.
Oh, great. Okay, great. Now, I understand also, now, I know you don't know a lot about this, but every summer the Children's Museum of Virginia, if you don't know, offers a whole series of camps and day camps and things. And they're on all sorts of subjects, from art to science, history, everything.
Correct.
It's great. Okay. Well, thanks for stopping by, Tim, and telling us about it.
Hey, no problem, Rob. It's good to see you again. Anytime, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That's it for our show today. To learn more about exhibits and events being offered at the museums featured on this episode of our program, or at any of the other museums in Portsmouth, simply log on to www.portsvaevents.com. From there, you can click onto links that will take you directly to the websites of whatever museum you're interested in. I'm Rob Lauer. Join me next month for another episode of Museum Moments.